What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up, Micky?
What's up, everybody?
So here we are on a Q&A kind of deal you were saying we wanted to do. And we've got our man Brady in the back. He's got a bunch of questions that have been sent in. And you tell everybody a little bit about why you wanted to do this Q&A. You told me something about you were getting flooded with various questions on table size and things like that on socials, or what?
Yeah, no, I like doing these Q&As because I think a lot of people feel like I'm like like they can't communicate with me or get access to me and stuff like that. And I've always tried to be clear and transparent with everybody about what's going on here at Show Me. So I like doing these public Q&As. I usually do them in our vendors group. I used to do the Q&As in our Show Me meet and greet group, if people had questions about animals that they were keeping and they wanted some guidance or advice or whatever. These are good, and it's a great way to answer, a question, one question 1,000 times.
Yep. I agree. So one of the questions that I keep getting asked, and I answer it, but like you said, we might as well get it out there. One of the guests that we had on earlier in the week has decided that they want to sign up for some of the shows. So they're kind of scouting which shows they're going to travel to for neighboring states and things like that. And they asked me, how do they know what size table we will have for the shows so they know how to get their drop cloth?
So we're working on a sheet to put that on the website, but a lot of the times what they can do is they can join the Show Me vendors board, and we put that out there in a post about the show, or they can just reach out to a coordinator or myself and say, hey, what size are the tables in Knoxville? I'll be like, they're 8 foot long and 30 inches wide.
Yep. So I just kind of told them, for what they're doing, I have had people get the 8 foot stretch ones. And even if the table is 6 foot, you can kind of fold it underneath if it's something you need to get by with. But it really just depends on whether the venue is offering the ability to rent tables, because I know you always jump on that for overall convenience for everybody.
Yeah, usually if they're 6 foot tables, there are tables. And I know that, once things get moving a little bit better, we're going to work on replacing our 6 foot tables with 8 foot tables. They're so expensive. They're nearly $100 a piece. So, buying 100 of those or 120 of those it's quite an expense.
I had the weirdest thing happen here a couple weeks ago. I was at a show, and it just goes to show you that it's hard to appease to everybody. Because I've been at shows where we have 6 foot tables and people are like, man, I really wish that there was more table. And then I was just at another show where there was 8 foot long tables, and they're like, my goodness, I can't, there's too much table. It is what it is. So Brady, you have some stuff that you had said you got directly from the Show Me messenger. If you want to toss some stuff up or whatever, and we'll kind of start going from there. Or Micky, of anybody, what's some of the questions that you get asked most frequently by new vendors, or maybe even vendors that have been with us for a while? Is there a rudimentary kind of questionnaire you get hit with?
Common question I get asked a lot is, what time setup? So we have a universal setup across the board. On our 2-day shows, our setup times from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then, Saturday morning, it'll be 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's the same on our 1-day shows. 7 a.m. Is setup time. We are looking at extending setup hours on Fridays, but I don't think a lot of people understand that, a setup days, it's honestly a courtesy. usually have to rent the venue for a day to get that in there. And 6 o'clock is about the time that, on average, that the staff from the venue is clocking out and wanting to go home. So that's why 6 o'clock's our cutoff time. Otherwise, I
Well,
gotta pay people overtime.
And I know you understand it. And aside from the payroll side of things, these teams are also traveling long distances at times and then having to go in and do that and set up all the tables. Be courteous to your coordinators, guys, because they really are busting hard out there for you to make it happen. They're setting up a show from scratch. And they are customer service people, Mickey. If we stop at 6, we're still there till 6:45 helping somebody, so even if you extended it to 7, then we'd be there 7:45. Like, unfortunately, there has to be a cutoff. And then the convenience of the next morning, they get 2 hours out of the gate again. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of try to plan according on that side of things, because guys, when it boils down to it, it's your small business, and this is setting up your little portable brick and mortar building, so to speak. So, but yeah, so that's a good solid question. So here's something, it's not so much a question as much as a statement. Some of the things that I've been hearing lately, I've had some people that had been vending with other promotions, and they were reaching out and they were talking about some of the pricing on the tables. And I guess for me, I've come over to the show me side. I know what we do for our tables, but I haven't done a whole lot of looking at table prices for other promotions. I'm hearing that we have some of the best pricing on single day and on your full weekend shows. I've just been getting a lot of that lately. Do you get that from people that you speak with still, or is that something just because of where I'm at with speaking with the customers?
It just depends on who I'm talking to. It goes either way, just like with anything. Some people say, "Oh, well, you're too expensive," and things like that. But I think people are always going to kind of gripe about the price of something. But there's a lot that goes into these shows. So,
well, I had a lady that was telling me that she does some of the plant shows here. I'll say locally, but more on the Kansas City, Kansas side of things. And she was saying those tables are $250, sometimes $325, depending if it's a festival or a fair. She was really excited, dude. She's like,
yeah,
this is very reasonable in the grand scheme of what people pay to set up at an expo. So I didn't know. I I was happy about it, but I was like, man, I guess that's just kind of something that Mickey is doing for the overall community. If there's that much of a differentiation in price.
well, what we
So
try to do with everything is we try to bring an equal to or greater value to what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like for the price. So we're trying to give, like, the vendors here. We're trying to give them that big show experience for like a quarter of the price. You know what I mean? So it'll all fall together one of these days.
so is there a reason that you decided to go that route?
Well, I always like to try to keep everything affordable, because that's what keeps the wheels spinning. Like in most cases, a lot of these people that are out here vending the shows, or they're hobbyists, or they're small businesses, and we just try to support them, and we do that in the stores too. Like, we try to keep our feeder prices low, and things like that, so people can afford to keep their reptiles and enjoy what they do, because a lot of times cost does play into a factor. I just wish I could get a lot of these venues and a lot of the other bills that I have to pay to follow that mindset.
Yeah. So we do have looks like offline questions. Someone sent in asking about the venue and vendor pricing for the big Nashville show. School everybody on what we've got going on out there, boss.
Oh, I'm super excited for Nashville. We've been trying for a while to get a show in downtown, and in Nashville proper. Uh, so the tables there are $200 a piece, and that's including the tables and the power, and we have the buy three get one free. So I know some people look at that $200 a piece price tag and they're like, oh wow, that's a bit. But whenever you break it down and do the math, I mean, for 4 tables, you're paying $600.
And it's funny. It's funny because this time last year I'd never been to Tennessee. I've been to Tennessee many times now, and first of all, Tennessee is a great place for reptile keepers, dude. It is such good energy, and I've never been to the Opryland, so like I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah.
Now, is that a venue that you had been chasing for a long time, or did you just stumble into it, or how did you get the Opryland?
So we've been going back and forth, not in a negative way, with the Opryland. So we actually had a date in March of 2025, but the sales team down there and the board or whatever, they figured out we were a reptile expo, and some people on the board or whatever down there are like, oh well, we need to kind of look into this a little bit more. So they pulled our March date from us, and we're just going back and forth with them, kind of explaining what a reptile expo was and that our animals are contained and everything like that. For months we went back and forth with them, and they finally gave us our September date. So yeah, there we go, September 5th and 6th.
So hard work pays off.
Yeah, it's just a battle of attrition a lot of times, and we deal with that with a lot of the municipalities and states that we put shows into as well. I know we're getting ready to. We've got a show later in the year in New Mexico, and that took a little bit of work to get us into there. We're definitely never afraid to put in the work to do what needs to be
You
done.
mentioned New Mexico. Is it true it's been over 20 years since there's been a show down there? Is that true?
That's what I've heard. It's been a very, very long time. So
That's what I heard too, like 20, 30 years. And I'm like, man, when you think about the evolution of what's even happened in the last 5, 10 years, 20 or 30 years, they might as well have never gone to a show. It's so different. So
yeah,
that that's exciting. That's exciting. So it looks like for Opryland, there's already 50 vendors that are pre-registered. So slots are definitely filling up fast for that, and for good reason. Just for good reason, for sure. So,
well,
um,
that show will definitely sell out. We used to have 350, 400 tables at our Lebanon, Tennessee show, which is about 25 miles outside of Nashville. So it'll be a packed house.
and that's an outstanding show. I have been in there, and it's my favorite building so far that I've been in. So
That show's
far.
actually been doing really, really good since we moved it into the smaller building. Uh, I know everybody likes to chase these huge shows and stuff, but I see a lot better results whenever we cut the tables down.
Well, man, look, everything about it looks so good. I love how the floor looks. I love how the appearance of the building, the outside. It's a great spot. It's one of my absolute favorite show me shows that I've been to so far. I'm hoping and praying Colubrid Fest destroys all. I'm so excited for Colubrid Fest.
That's a totally different monster. They're actually down there talking a lot about that at IHS today. A lot of people are excited about that, and it's really cool to be a part of kind of bridging that gap between like hobbyist and academia.
Uh-huh.
We've been working on doing that for years, and I think we found something that might finally work.
Okay. So we got another question. Someone asked who they reach out to if they can help posting signs or handing out flyers for local shows where they live at, so their local community. How would somebody go about reaching out to us for something like that?
Well, a lot of people reach directly out to me. I'm the one that designs the signs and orders them and sends them out. So they can always reach out to me on Facebook. Uh, I'm always more than happy to send stuff out. I know in some areas I have vendors that'll go out and do that for us, and I usually hook them up with tables and stuff like that. So yeah, just reach out to me or anybody on the team. If you can't get out to me, get a hold of me, and we'll try to get some stuff out to you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and all of that stuff really helps, guys. It's kind of like Micky was saying in the beginning. It takes all of us. This is a full circle. And he's given love on the tables and pricing and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with a hard question, boss. It's one that I hear and I get asked all the time, and it's kind of starting to grind my gears a little bit. For some reason, I don't feel like people totally understand what it is when it comes to promoting these shows. And I love the last question. I'm not saying anything negative about the signs, first of all, but there's so much more that goes into promoting these shows other than a billboard, a sign. There's a lot of social media on the backside, ads and campaigns. Um, it just bothers me when I hear that from some of the vendors or some of the other promotions, how, oh, show me doesn't do this, show me doesn't do that. Dude, we're picking up signs off of the side of the road for like an hour and a half after the shows. Like,
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's like a classic attack. Like usually, if you hear another show promoter talking trash about us, consider the source. That's another show promoter.
and I didn't mean to put you in a spot like that, because I know you don't talk on other promoters
No,
or whatever, but
it's fine, and I think what happens a lot of times is, people can't see what we're doing because they don't live in the area that a venue's in. Like if you don't live within an hour or two of a venue, you're probably not going to see too much advertising, because I'm not wasting the money advertising 2 to 3 or 4 hours away from a show, unless it's a show that's going to draw that many people in.
with signage. But you've personally assigned me and some of the coordinators, and on social media, these areas are getting hit. Like
Yeah,
that's part of my job, is to spread that stuff around so that the local community can come in and be a part of the education and just the overall show me experience and the vibe.
right.
So like, I feel like that's a side of things that people don't understand. And, so I'm over here helping on your promotion side, and I am indeed on your payroll, right, Micky?
Yeah.
So that's advertisement in itself. He's got somebody that is accountable, that is going out and doing it.
Well, a lot of people don't know, like, we have a social media team. It's not just me out here doing advertising or not advertising. That's always been one of the funniest things I've ever heard while doing this is, well, you don't advertise. Why would I not advertise? That's how we make money, because we don't make money off the tables. That's how we keep our bills paid here. That's how I keep Steve paid and everybody else on payroll paid. So
Okay, so we got another question. Well, let's see. The bulk of our social ads to draw in attendees are targeted at the 30 mile radius around a market. So that's kind of the local areas that we're hitting with the ground troops, so to speak, signage and things like that. But I don't know, because Mickey, I don't do that side of the stuff, so I'm naive. I don't know. But I also feel like almost in today's day and age that some of that stuff is starting to go to the wayside a little bit and doesn't pull as much weight as what it used to even just a couple years ago. Do you see that as, have you noticed that? Or am I
So,
just off base?
so without giving a a workshop on how to promote an event, uh,
Sure.
it's different markets call for different things, and you just gotta be willing to spend the money and the time to figure out what works where.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if anybody. We got Mark. He's down here, man, and Mark wants to be a part of something, man.
I got you, Lou.
Mark's gonna be popping up at some of the Oregon shows. I'm excited about that. That should be fun. Uh, so, what else you got for us, Brady? I put him in the hot seat. I couldn't help it, Mickey, because I'm at the shows and doing the vibe check and stuff, and I don't like hearing it, and I'm not putting any names on it or anything, but like, we are out here trying to do everything we can, uh, not just for the vendors, but also the attenders. It's in full court press.
Well, that's the thing. So we fight so many battles on so many different fronts, because we have things we have to deal with vendors, we have things we have to deal with the customers, because we're trying to keep both of those groups happy. Then we have the venues, and then we have the cities that we're dealing with, and the states that we're dealing with. It's a lot of stuff, and we're just trying to make all of this work, so that the vendors can go out and continue to breed the animals that they love and enjoy, and we're trying to give opportunities so people can maybe do this stuff for a living. That was part of the reason why we built the marketplace, so people could have a place to pick up sales in between shows or even after shows.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, they're asking. So, notice that there's a lot of new podcasters and influencers associated through YouTube. What's up with that? So Mickey's kind of brought me over here, and we're bringing in some of our own Show Me family. And Mickey thought it would be a good way for us to go ahead and transfer some of the knowledge and information and what is kind of our everyday life across to the general public. And I thought it was a great idea. Let everybody see what's going on, get behind the scenes, husbandry stuff, live podcasts. We're doing a lot with vendor spotlights and things like that. That's really important to me. I've always liked doing that, and everyone likes it when you do it anyways, so it's that much better. Um, so that's kind of what's going up on that side of things. And then like what we're doing tonight is just kind of what's going on with Show Me currently type stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to interrupt us for just a second because I want to go ahead and show a couple things that we do have coming up for sure. So this weekend, guys, we've got two shows. We've got Davenport, Iowa. This is just a one-day banger on Sunday. Everything is on the screen there. You got your VIP opens at 9 o'clock, 10 to 3:30 for the general public. So lots of good stuff there. And then I'm super stoked because I am on my way out to Nebraska, which this is the first time that I've actually been out to this show. I'm excited. There's about 4 or 5 people that are traveling in from the Nebraska area to come out and kick it at the show. So I'm super excited about that. This is going to be another one-day show. This is Sunday, June 22nd. So this weekend coming up, same time frame, 9 o'clock is going to be your VIP. Smash through early, come in, say hi before it starts getting getting too busy. 10 to 3:30 for everybody else. So can't help it. I've got to put that out there, man. I got to let people know where they can get to us at. And before we wrap up, well, I guess we're not done anyway. So if a vendor is interested in sharing knowledge about their favorite species on a podcast, can they volunteer? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Micky. You can reach out to Brady. And we will get something set up. We look for that stuff, as a matter of fact. For what we're doing, it takes all of you guys too. So come be a part of what we're doing over here, and let's just have some fun.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
We love giving people the opportunity to share their passion and knowledge with everybody else.
Yeah. That's and it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity.
That's why we do what we do.
You know, we turn around and we share that out, and it's shared out to 100,000 show me contacts. Guys, you can't, that's hard to beat that kind of publicity, man. So, but I've got a question for you that keeps kind of popping up. People keep asking me, and I can't say anything because I don't know enough about it because it's still being put together. But what's up with this app, dude?
Oh, yeah, the app. So I actually had a meeting with the development team the other day, and they were kind of walking me through parts of the app. I'm super excited. So, you know, we're putting Marketplace on an app finally. I know there's some bugs on the actual website that kind of annoy people. The app experience is going to be totally different. Let's see what else we're going to be able to do on the app. Oh yeah, people are going to be able to buy tickets. You know, hopefully after too much longer, they'll be able to, you know, vendors will be able to book their tables. And we got a couple other really, really big surprises in store on the app. Not gonna talk about those too much right now, but I'm super excited. It's probably one of the biggest undertakings that I've been a part of since I've started this company. You know, and it's I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to kind of share the secret with everybody. You know, I'm always the guy that gives people their gifts early, you know, for birthdays and Christmas, but I gotta stay zipped lip on this one until
you just keep telling me you're gonna love when you push that button, and I'm like, come on, man, come on, give me a little bit.
Well, I think it's going to be a real it's going to be a big game changer for our vendors and the, you know, animal lovers and show attendees and just really anybody and everybody that's involved with what we're doing. There's going to be a lot of great benefits to it. So.
Okay, so we do have a question. Somebody asked here, I heard that there's a new promotion looking at Grovetown requiring vendors to have business licenses for the city. Is that something that we require, or what's going on with that? Is that the promotion, or?
I've had that question a couple times, and I've answered that question, you know, in private messages. You know, a lot of the times, you know, vendors they're responsible for their own licensing and things like that. Here's the deal. Like if you go into a town and you don't have the required licensing, that's the vendor's responsibility. I'm not going to go through and maybe make sure everybody's going to have their taxes paid and things like that.
Georgia, and Georgia and Florida are tricky anyways.
A lot of places are tricky. They write their laws and ordinances all goofy, you know, and the truth of it is a lot of people out here vending reptile shows, they're not businesses, they're hobbyists. You know, they don't go out there and make a ton of sales. So I don't see the point in making people get a $200 business license if they're going to go to a show and maybe make some sales.
Right. but it's like you said, that's kind of on each person to make sure they've got all their ducks in a row. Was just a question, so I figured we would go ahead and pull it up. I tell you what I want to do. I do want to go ahead and bring Brady out real quick. So I'm gonna add him to the stage. Just to, I'm sure everybody's seen him on the other Show Me Reptile show, but this is Brady. Guys, he's not on the screen as often, but he does a lot of heavy lifting behind the scenes. So I was telling him when we were backstage, Mickey, I was like, I really appreciate you being on the team, man, and all the things you do that we don't know. So thank you, Brady.
Yeah,
hey,
thanks, Brady.
try to help a little bit with everything here and there.
Brady's been with us for years, and he's always just been in the background making sure stuff gets done, and yeah, he's a goat.
And there's a lot, man. There's a lot of background stuff. There's a lot of stuff that
I don't think people have any idea that there's like 40 employees back here making this work.
No, and you know what's funny about that? You think about that, and then you think about the payroll, and then you think about the cost of tables. Guys, these are real numbers, dude. These are real numbers.
Yeah, I mean, because we have like a customer service team, and we have the social media team. I mean, there's just a lot of folks back there, making all of this happen. I think the misconception that has been kind of spread around is, we just run around and rent venues and hope people will show up, and that's
I wish
not the case. That's absolutely not the case.
No. There's a lot of work being done, and there's a lot of work when the next weekend is coming up the next weekend. So like it never stops.
Yeah, people don't realize that like you put out the first ads for a show, 6 to 8 weeks in advance of it, and then you come back 3 weeks before and you hit that area with the ads again, and then a week before you hit it again. But every week you're resetting and going with the next set of 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week out.
Already.
So every Monday you're working with another 3 weeks worth of promotions that have to continue going, because it's 200 plus shows a year in 30 states, and it just never stops.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. I got that. That's why I cut the beard off. It's full of gray hairs.
Hey, you know what though? All BS aside, I do have a lot of fun. I do feel blessed to be over here and get the opportunity to do what I'm doing and be able to play and see the animals that we do. We work hard, but man, we play hard over here too. So it's not all bad. Careful what you wish for, guys. You just might get so busy doing it you don't have time for anything else. That's what I can say.
Oh yeah.
So, Brady, do you have a show me question or something for Mickey?
I think I'm pretty well in tune with most of it day in and day out. But I do, for those that don't know, I also answer most of the support inbox questions. So I help out with trying to get those answers back to people quickly so they don't have to wait for a live Q&A with Mickey. But Mickey's very accessible. I think that's one thing that people need to know is, like, despite what's going on and how big of an organization it seems sometimes, it's really a small family and a tight-knit group. And like, if there's something really wrong or something you're really concerned about, you can talk directly to Mickey, and a lot of times that's not the case. With other things that you may be working with, you try to get out there and try to reach somebody at the top of the company and tell them you've got something important to express to them. And, good luck getting through the gatekeepers.
Facts.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. We send out requests for feedback after every show, and every single one of those gets read by me first, and then turned around and shared directly to our coordinator group. So it's not something that we just try to pick and choose. Like, we literally, even if it's a complaint we can't fix, we turn around and share it with the team and try to put our heads together to figure out what can we do to ease it or make it a little bit better, or on some of those, it's good things, compliments and things that we want to just make sure keep repeating and encourage the employees who did a great job.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, hey guys, I think we pretty much covered it. Unless you guys got anything, I think we can go ahead and end this because I know we got a busy Show Me weekend coming up. Micky, as a matter of fact, where are you sitting right now?
I'm sitting in what's going to be my new office in a couple days. I'm building out an office in the back of this Troy store so I can work up here in the store, not at my house anymore. I can be here for the warehouse and the the product line up
Have
there.
your own space.
Yeah, I have my own space. So hopefully next week, whenever we're on, you guys, I'll kind of show the office a little bit if everything comes in. I just got a lot of work to do in here: some paint, some flooring, some drywall.
Yeah, but you're hauling ass, dude. That thing didn't exist 3 days ago at all. It was just an idea. And that's how Micky is. Hey, you know what? I think there's an office there. Boom. Now there's an office there.
Yeah, sometimes it's a real curse.
It is. It is. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap this up. We'll show you Micky's office next week, hopefully. And thanks for coming on, helping us out, Brady, as always.
Of course.
Good to see you, Micky. And peace. I'm out.